It started on a Thursday. I remember because it was the day our kitchen light broke. My wife said nothing. She just looked at it, then looked at me, and walked away. My name is Marek. I'm from Poland. Now I live in Canada. I came here with dreams. A better life, good schools for our kids, safe streets. We had that, for a little while. I used to work at a small factory. I fixed parts for big machines. It was not an easy job, but it paid the bills. I was proud. We bought a little car, we had dinners together, my daughter painted on the walls and we laughed. Those were good times. Then the factory closed. At first, I told my wife, don't worry. I'll find something fast. But fast never came. I didn't know enough English. I thought I did. I was wrong. I understood when someone said, hello, or, how are you? But I didn't understand work words. I couldn't follow a job interview. I got nervous when someone spoke fast. Every time I heard a question, my heart raced. My hands sweated. I went to job centers. I filled out forms. They looked at my experience, then asked, do you speak fluent English? I said, I'm learning. They smiled. We'll call you. But they never did. At home, things got harder. My wife, Anya, tried to stay calm. But I saw her worry grow every week. We stopped smiling. We started arguing. One night, I found her crying in the bathroom. I didn't say anything. I just sat on the floor and listened to the sound of the sink dripping. I felt like a failure. Our kids, Luca and Sophie, didn't understand. They still wanted ice cream. They still wanted bedtime stories. But the house was heavy with silence. No one laughed anymore. That same week, I saw a sign at the library, free English class. Beginners welcome. I walked in the next day. The teacher's name was Mr. Jenkins. He had white hair and kind eyes. He looked at me and said, good morning. I answered, good morning, sir. He smiled. You're here to learn. That's already a big step. The class was small. 5 other people. A woman from Syria. A man from Brazil. 2 teenagers from Ukraine. A girl from Vietnam. We all struggled. We all tried. We laughed when we got things wrong. We clapped when someone got it right. It felt good to be there. I started going every day. I read simple books. Children's books. I watched cartoons with subtitles. I repeated the words, slowly. Today is sunny. My name is Marek. I want to work. At home, I spoke to myself in English while cooking. I whispered sentences while folding laundry. One day, I heard my son Luca say, Papa, why are you talking to the fridge? I smiled. I'm practicing, I said. I didn't just practice at home. I spoke to cashiers, bus drivers, even strangers at the park. I made mistakes, yes. Many. But I kept going. One day, after class, Mr. Jenkins came to me. Marek, he said. You're improving fast. You should try for a job again. Even something small. It will help. I went home and made a resume. I kept it simple. Just the truth. Then I printed 10 copies and walked into every shop on Main Street. A small bakery needed help with deliveries. The owner was a woman named Carla. She said, can you drive? Can you speak a little English? I said, I can. I will try hard. She gave me a chance. It wasn't much, just part-time, 3 days a week. But I had something again. A place to go. People to talk to. A reason to wake up early. At the bakery, I practiced English with customers. I learned words like order, receipt, change, and thank you for coming. One morning, Carla said, you know, Marek, you're good with people. If your English gets better, maybe we can make you full-time. That night, I studied for 3 hours. I was tired. But I felt alive again. I looked at my wife and said, it's getting better. She didn't say anything. But she didn't look away. That was enough. My first full month at the bakery passed quickly. I woke up early, delivered bread, smiled at customers, and spoke English every chance I got. Every night I wrote in a notebook. Today I learned, receipt, delivery, customer complaint. Some days were hard. Cold mornings. Heavy bags. One time, my car broke down in the middle of a delivery. I ran the last 3 blocks with a box of cakes in my arms. I arrived late. I was sweating. But the customer laughed. "You care," she said. "That matters more than time." That day, I learned another new word, dedication. Carla started giving me more hours. She said, "You're learning fast, Merrick. And you work hard. That's rare." I thanked her. But at home, it was still difficult. My wife was tired. She worked nights cleaning offices. We saw each other for just a few minutes before she left. I tried to help with the children. I made dinner. I read stories to Luca and Sophie. But my daughter asked, "Papa, when will Mama smile again?" I had no answer. One Saturday, after work, I went to the park to think. I sat on a bench and listened to the wind. Nearby, I heard two men speaking in English. One of them said, "The warehouse is looking for supervisors. Good pay, but they want someone who speaks English well." I waited. Then I walked up to them. "Sorry," I said. "I heard you talk about job. Can I ask, where is this warehouse?" The man looked at me. "You speak English?" "A little," I said. "I'm learning. I work now, but I want to do more." He nodded. He gave me an address and a name. "Go Monday morning," he said. "They need someone now." That night, I told my wife. For the first time in months, she smiled. "Maybe it's our turn," she said. I went to the warehouse Monday morning. It was huge, loud, full of trucks and voices. I found the office and knocked. A woman opened the door. "Yes. I'm here for job," I said. "I speak English. I work hard. I want to try." She looked at me for a long second. Then she pointed to a chair. "Wait." After 10 minutes, a man came out. Big shoulders. A serious face. He asked questions slowly. "Have you worked in a warehouse before?" "No," I said. "But I learn fast." "Do you drive a forklift?" "No," I said. "But I can learn." He looked at my resume. "You worked at a bakery?" "Yes. And before that, a factory. I fix machines." He stood quiet for a moment. "Okay," he said. "Trial week. If you do well, we'll talk again." I started the next day. It was hard. Heavy lifting. Fast talking. English everywhere. But I paid attention. I asked questions. I stayed after work to help. On Thursday, there was a problem with one of the sorting machines. No one could fix it. I looked at it. It was similar to machines I used back home. I asked the supervisor, "Can I try?" He said, "Go ahead." 10 minutes later, the machine worked again. He stared at me. "You fixed this?" "Yes. You never said you were a technician." "You never asked," I said, and smiled. That evening, they called me to the office. "We want to offer you a full-time position," the man said. "Better pay. You'll help with maintenance. And, we'll pay for your English classes. If you're interested." I nodded. "I am." When I told my wife, she sat down and cried. But this time, it wasn't sadness. It was relief. That night, we ate dinner together. All four of us. For the first time in a long time. The children laughed. My wife told stories. I sat back and just listened. It felt like we were a family again. A week later, I started evening English classes. The teacher was from India. Her name was Mira. She spoke clearly and slowly. She said something that stayed with me: language is not just about words. It's about confidence. If you believe you can speak, you will. I believed her. I practiced every day. I asked questions. I watched English shows with subtitles. I even joined a small English-speaking club on Sundays. We met at a cafe and talked about simple things: weather, food, movies. I made friends. Real ones. My world was growing. But life wasn't perfect. One day, Luca got sick. We had to take him to the hospital. I was scared. My wife was scared. The doctor spoke fast. But I understood him. I asked questions. I filled forms. I translated for my wife. I stayed calm. That night, she looked at me and said, "I'm proud of you." I had waited so long to hear those words. 3 months passed. At the warehouse, I worked with machines. I fixed what was broken. I helped train new workers. People started calling me the guy who can solve anything. It felt good. My English was better now. Not perfect. But I could follow meetings, answer phones, help others. I started dreaming in English. One day, my manager called me into his office. "There's a position opening," he said. "Supervisor. More responsibility. More pay. But the interview will be in English, with people from head office." I froze. "An interview? In full English? I'm not ready," I said. He shook his head. "You are. Trust me." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. What if I made mistakes? What if I forgot words? What if I failed, and they laughed? My wife turned to me. "Try," she said. "Even if you fall forward." I decided to prepare. Like never before. I watched videos about job interviews. I practiced questions in front of a mirror. "Tell me about yourself. Why do you want this job? What are your strengths?" I wrote down answers. Then I memorized them. Then I said them aloud, again and again, until my voice felt strong. I asked my English teacher, Mira, for help. We practiced every day after class. "You're ready," she said at the end of the week. "Don't speak perfectly. Speak honestly." The interview was on Friday morning. I wore my best shirt. My wife wished me luck at the door. My kids waved from the window. At the office, 3 people sat across from me. 1 man, 2 women. They smiled. That helped. The first woman asked, "Merrick, tell us why you want to be a supervisor." I took a breath. "I want to help the team. I know the machines. I know the work. I also know how it feels to start from zero. I want to make the work easier for others." The second woman said, "What would you do if a worker made a big mistake?" "I would talk first," I said. "Everyone makes mistakes. I made many. But if someone learns from it, they become better. If they don't, then we try again." The man asked, "How is your English?" I smiled. "It's still growing. But every day, I speak, I read, I learn. It gets better. Like a plant. Water it, and it grows." They all laughed a little. That helped too. I left the room shaking. But also proud. I did it. I didn't wait long. That evening, I got a call. "Merrick," the manager said, "congratulations. You're our new shift supervisor." I sat down. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just breathed. It felt like walking out of a long tunnel, and seeing light. When I told my wife, she hugged me tight. "You did it," she whispered. "No," I said. "We did it. We went out to celebrate. Nothing fancy. Just pizza and cola with the kids. But it felt like a holiday." Sophie said, "Papa, now you're the boss." I laughed. "No, sweetie. I just helped the boss." That weekend, I called my mother in Poland. She cried. She said, "You sound different. Your voice is strong." "It's English, Mama," I said. It changed my life. In the following weeks, my schedule changed. More meetings. More papers. More talking. But I liked it. I helped new workers from other countries, just like I once was. I told them, "Your English doesn't have to be perfect. Just brave." One day, Mira came to visit the warehouse. She was smiling. "I have news," she said. "There's a government grant. They're offering scholarships for immigrants to study part-time at college. Technical programs. You should apply." "College?" I laughed. "I'm too old for that." She looked me in the eyes. "You were not too old to start over. You're not too old to grow more." I thought about it. Why not? The next week, I sent an application. 2 weeks later, I was accepted. Evenings, after work, I went to class. I studied advanced machine systems. It was hard, but not harder than starting with nothing. At home, things were better than ever. My wife worked less now. She smiled more. We went to the park again. We watched movies as a family. My daughter wrote me a card. It said, "Dear Papa, thank you for not giving up." 1 year passed. I still worked at the warehouse, but now I was the lead supervisor. I had 10 people under me. I trained them. I made schedules. I solved problems. And most days, I loved it. But something had changed. I didn't just want to work. I wanted to give back. So many people had helped me, Mr. Jenkins, Carla, Mira, the man in the park. I wanted to be that person for someone else. One evening, after my college class, I stayed behind to talk to the teacher. I want to teach, I said. Not full-time. Just help new immigrants. People like me. The teacher smiled. You already have the most important thing. What's that? Experience. He gave me the contact for a local center that helped newcomers. I went there the next day. The manager was an older woman with glasses and a calm voice. You want to volunteer? Yes, I said. To teach English. But also, hope. She looked at me for a second, then nodded. We have a group that meets twice a week. Beginners. Can you come Thursday? I'll be here, I said. On Thursday, I stood in front of 7 people. All of them nervous. All of them silent. I smiled. Hello. My name is Merrick. I came to this country 3 years ago. I didn't speak English. I had no job. I was scared. Just like you. They looked up. But now, I continued, I speak. I work. I even go to college. And today, I'm here with you. That first lesson was simple. We learned, hello, my name is, and I am learning English. It felt like magic. Every week, they came back. A woman from Ethiopia. A man from Venezuela. A young mother from Ukraine. An older man from Iraq. They worked hard. They practiced. They smiled more. One day, the woman from Ethiopia stayed after class. I want to get job, she said. But I afraid. I looked at her and said the same words Mira once told me. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be brave. She nodded. A month later, she found work at a local cafe. At home, my kids grew fast. Luca played football now. Sophie sang songs in English. My wife started studying online. She wanted to become a nurse. I watched you change everything, she told me. Now it's my turn. We were a team again. Stronger than before. One weekend, we took a trip, our first real vacation. Just a small lake 2 hours away. But it felt like another world. We stayed in a cabin, played board games, cooked over fire. On the last night, we sat under the stars. Luca said, Papa, are you happy now? I looked at him. At my wife. At Sophie, who was already asleep in her blanket. Yes, I said. I'm happy. Not because everything was perfect. But because I wasn't afraid anymore. English didn't just give me words. It gave me power. To speak. To work. To protect. To love. To start again. At the end of the year, the center asked if I wanted to teach a full beginner course. We can pay you this time, the manager said. It won't be much. But it's yours. I said yes. The first day of class, I stood before a room of 20 people. I looked at all those tired but hopeful faces. And I said, slowly. My name is Merrick. I came here with nothing. I was quiet, afraid, and lost. But English helped me find myself. A young man in the front raised his hand. He had just arrived from Turkey. Is it hard? He asked. Yes, I said. But it's possible. And then I wrote 3 words on the board. Don't give up. I turned to the class. Repeat, please. Don't give up. Again, louder this time. Don't give up. They said it again and again. The words filled the room like sunlight. I smiled. Because I believed them. Because now, they did too.